Today, on the subject of Italian opera, let's just start. What is opera? Opera is a form of theatre, but with music. It's great. And, you know, if you've ever heard of this tiny thing called musicals, it's basically all their ancestor. It's just theatre with a lot of music and a lot of singing. Yay. And it originated in Italy, which is why we're only talking about the Italian operas and not the other ones, okay? We gotta make some sacrifices here. So, let's start at the very beginning. The very first opera was Daphne by a guy named Jacopo Peri in 1598. So that's a long time ago. And like many, many things in this world, it started with impersonating the Greeks. First science, now this, I guess, just, yeah. We really liked the Greeks back then. So, you know, like that myth about that one lady that the god Apollo was, like, really in love with? And she was like, dude, no, I would rather die and turn into a tree. So, yeah, that one, that's Daphne. And they made it into an opera. Well, that was the first one. And we don't really have it anymore. We don't know what the music sounded like. So that's kind of sad. But moving on, people liked it a lot because they were like, wow, this is so cool. And more people started doing it. And there was even this dude who was like, in the very beginning of the opera thing, he did a lot. He was called Claudio Monteverdi. And his most notable work, according to Wikipedia, is... Of course it's Greek again. Great. Whatever. So then Italian opera became the hot new thing in all of Europe, except France for some reason. Anyway, and now it's the 17th and 18th century. So Mozart decides to write Italian operas now. And he is German, but he gets a pass because he writes operas that aren't based off Greek myths mostly. Yay! Okay, I'm kind of exaggerating. The Italians have written operas not related to Greek stuff by now. But, come on guys, pick up the pace. What do you mean one of the best operas ever written wasn't written by you guys? Like, come on, you all made this stuff. Italians need to pick up the pace. So, the thing that they didn't make, the thing that Mozart made, that was called Le Nozze di Figaro. Or, if you're boring, it's Figaro's Marriage. It is a comic opera. AKA what is actually called an opera buffa. So there's two main genres of opera, an opera buffa and opera seria. There's an easy distinction. Opera buffa is comedy and opera seria is not comedy. Seria is like fancy and it's artistic and stylized. There's a lot of virtuistic singing and stuff in the golden age of opera, and the stories about the myths and the gods, and everyone in Europe loved it, except France again. And then there was buffa. The opera buffa is about the common folk, supposedly. It started in Naples and it talked about everyday things happening to everyday people in a comedic way. Like, for example, falling in love with a girl, but her old uncle is trying to keep you apart because he wants to marry her. So you pretend to be a soldier with a local barber as your wingman to get the girl. That's the Barber of Seville. Very fun story, and definitely happens every day to common folk. Definitely happens. People do that to me, like, on the daily. And bada bing, bada boom, we still have the opera today, and musical theatre exists, inspired by it, and everything's great. Not even the French can deny it now, and we're done. Okay, I lied. There's a bonus round. So the bonus round is talking about the Commedia dell'arte. And lo and behold, another form of early Italian comedy theatre that is not an opera, but it deserves to be known and to be talked about because 90% of the thing is improvised. Oops, sorry for swearing. It is made on the spot. The characters are all stereotypes with their own masks and names, and those names might sound a bit familiar if you've heard of this tiny, definitely not very popular, and definitely not very well-known gacha game called Genshin Impact. So yeah, the bad guy group in that game, you know, is called like the Fatui Harbingers, right? And guess what? They're all named after Commedia dell'arte characters, like Tartaglia, the stuttering salesman. Okay, I never said that Genshin was great at the same characterization, okay? I just said that they were named after the same thing, and they also have masks. Wow, cool, right? Imagine learning from a silly game about Italian culture. It's great. So yeah, improvised stereotypical comedy. It's pretty great, guys. Check it out. Good job, Italians. You did it. You're creating musicals. Thank you.